So, hope everything is really back. Hope everything is really back, my mates. So, Manchester United, I'm sorry for not really having the volume at the start of it all, but the game of football is going to be played at Villa Park. I was like telling you, this is the game that really defines the future of Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. If he loses this game, I tell you, he's really going to be given a sack. 90% chance and 10% chance is that he'll obviously stay as the manager of Manchester United. And that is what I really think. So, what is his starting 11 that is really going to save him on the day? Erik ten Hag has brought in Andre Onana, Mazurui, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Højlund, Rashford, Eriksson, Garnacho, Dalot, Evans, and Kobe Mainoo. You get? When we go to the bench, he's having Ataïl Bendaïr, there is Delite, there is Lindelof, there is Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Ugarte, Ahmad, Anthony and Zexi. That is the starting 11 for Erik ten Hag in this game of football that he has gone ahead to obviously win, to obviously save his job. Then when you look at the side of Aston Villa, they're having Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Pau Torres, Digne, Philogen, Rose Barkley, Tielemans, Eric Bailey, Rogers, and Watkins. The bench has Gauchi, Kedeljovic, Madsen, Diego Carlos, Bogade, Swinkles, Eddie Buendia, Keyang, and Duran. That is the bench of Aston Villa, and that's how they've gone ahead obviously name their benches and the starting 11s in there. Now, Aston Villa played on Wednesday and they beat Bayern Munich by 1-0. Manchester United went ahead obviously play on Thursday and they drew 3-3 with FC Porto down in Portugal, and that really opens up a very huge discussion on whether playing a day after the other team will obviously play huge impact into this game. Things I don't really believe in. I saw Arsenal almost getting 3 points past a team known as Man City that had played on Wednesday, and Arsenal had played on a Thursday, and Man City was playing at home. And even when we were playing the UEFA Europa League, we came out and obviously registered very many big results because of how this team went ahead to obviously react into the beautiful game of football, having gone ahead obviously play on Thursday, and the other teams having gone ahead to be played the previous day. So I look at that starting 11 and I'm like, what is Erik ten Hag doing to himself? I just find it, I don't know whether I'm a prophet of doom, but I might not, but that starting 11 is really very worrying. You get? If you look at Aston Villa and how they play, you feel a little bit for Erik ten Hag, and I'm like, does the guy want the 17 million pounds? Because we've all gone ahead to be told that if hear me out, if Manchester United sack Erik ten Hag, they have to refund him 17 million pounds, something that I believe a man of his stature cannot really go for the lower fruits, right? I know he's supposed to be going in for the big fruits, you understand? So if that's the case, then why does he obviously go in for this lineup? And I'm gonna really tell you what I was gonna to do, but we wait for the results, because I might be criticizing him in here and he goes ahead obviously bag 3 points back to Old Trafford, something that I feel is really very hard to obviously collect in such a game, because the Unai Emery's team is really on fire. Though last season he beat him close to 2-3 times, I tell you, I don't find it a winnable game for Erik ten Hag in this starting 11, unless otherwise his bench will obviously come to his rescue. But I see him on the next plane to Netherlands. So Onana is in goal for the club of Manchester United. As you see him there, he's maintaining his position there. Mazarui is being played as a right back. We all know to it that that position is for him, and he has played every Premier League game and every UEFA Europa League game, and he has started all those games that I've gone ahead to mention. Left back is Diego Dalot, as anticipated that he's really going to be playing there. Now, the first 2 changes are going to be made into the centre-back pairing. On the right-sided centre-back, Harry Maguire has come in for Matthias de Ligt, and John Evans has come in for Lisandro Martinez, and I don't think that these are changes that you're really called for, because in a game like this that decides your fate, you have to go in for your best players, and I believe that the best back line is Lisandro Martinez and Matthias de Ligt. Midfield, Kobe Mainoo is in for Casemiro. Then Eriksen maintained his position, and for him it's a really very good tick for me to start him all the games, because he's really one of the most consistent players at the club of Manchester United. And one thing that I think Manchester United should think about is why Eriksen being played as a number 8, yet he really has no legs and he can really offer us better in the number 10 position. Why don't you play Bruno Fernandes into the number 8 position and play Eriksen as a number 10? You know, Garnacho, right attacking midfielder, meaning that Ahmad has gone ahead to be benched, and he will tell you, the manager, that obviously Garnacho played 45 minutes and Amad Diallo played some huge minutes in that game when you're playing against FC Porto, meaning that he needs to obviously rest and really do the rotation. And for Amad Diallo to be on the bench, I love one thing about it, that you're at least 100% sure that you have a person who can come off the bench and really change the game. That is something that very many teams really lack. And by the way, in games like this of this magnitude, you need players like maybe Ahmad to come off the bench and obviously come and really offer something different, because we've gone ahead to find ourselves in a position of really lacking creativity into the final third, especially after substitutions have gone ahead to be made. So I think this idea of having Zexi and Amad Diallo on the bench might work out and might save Erik ten Hag, provided he doesn't really keep himself into a very huge losing position. Now, Rashford, obviously he was benched when you're playing against FC Porto, and the reason given was that it was for this game. But we all know to it that he failed himself in as far as tracking back is concerned. And I have a person who has gone ahead to say that I have an agenda on Marcus Rashford. But the problem that people do have is they look so much at the goals and they don't look at so much at the entire game of football. You might come out and score 30 goals when you've gone ahead to fail the club to score 60. You get? So these are decisions that are really made by elite managers. And Marcus Rashford, I gave him his flowers on Tuesday for scoring that goal and creating an assist in the first 20 minutes. But what did he do after? That is the most important bit of it all, because we all know how good he can be if Rashford ticks all the boxes in a game and really puts in his best. He can be one of the best left forwards in the world. But the big question is, inconsistency kicks in and fades him into the position where he deserves not to be. So the problem of Marcus Rashford is inconsistency. If at all you've been following me up here for some time, you've heard me say that Marcus Rashford is really inconsistent. I've gone ahead to obviously say that on several occasions, if at all you remember that very well. Then I'm having a Bruno Fernandes. You get? I have an issue to address on Bruno Fernandes. Now, if Erik ten Hag is dropping Lisandro Martinez and Matthias de Ligt because he feels like they never really want to hit perform when playing against FC Porto, then why do you come and play the worst player on the field of play ever since this one started at Manchester United, that is Bruno Fernandes, in every game? You get? And they don't bench him. He starts every game. You know? Do you think there is any other player that has gone ahead to do worse than Bruno Fernandes? That player is not there. That player is not there. So Bruno Fernandes, the worst player on the field of play, cannot be dropped. And these are the reasons why he tell you, if Erik ten Hag gets sacked, he would have gone ahead to sack himself. He had the chance today to obviously play Ugarte and Eriksen, maybe. Then, Ugarte and Casemiro, or Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo in that double pivot. Then, Eriksen in the number 10 position. Bench Bruno Fernandes. Bench him. And I tell you, he's going to keep him on the field of play. And even if he's doing nothing, you'll keep him on. That is my problem with Erik ten Hag. You get? So, Rasmus Højlund is going to be leading the line for the club of Manchester United. So for me, I'm really having my reservations over this lineup, because why is this player onto the field of play? He has been really performing very badly, and you've gone ahead to bench Evans and Harry Maguire. You get? You've benched Amad Diallo. You've benched Casemiro. All those players are really looking better players on the pitch, you know. Apart from the 2 mistakes that Casemiro did against Liverpool, I think he has been one of the best players on the field of play, especially when he comes on. That direction he gives us when you're really attacking, and all he puts up on the table is really very, very, very good. So I look at things like, and I'm like, Ten Hag is sacking himself. He is sacking himself. Let's go to the Villa side and see how Villa is really lining up to obviously face the club of Manchester United. So, Martinez is in between the stitches, as you see there. Very good goalkeeper. Matt Cash is being played as the right back, meaning that Matt Cash is really going to be facing Marcus Rashford into the mix. Digne is going to be facing Garnacho, is being played as the left back. Then Konsa and Torres are playing into the central defense. That's how they're really going to be playing to obviously stop Rasmus Højlund from obviously running at them, to obviously coming through and really score those goals. Then Ross Barkley and Yuri Tielemans are being played into the double pivot, and remember, their sixes, all those players that really play in that CDM position are really ill. Kamara is still ill. Then Onana went ahead to get an injury in the playing against Bayern Munich, and he never found himself in a position obviously putting in any shift. So here it comes to see these two, Ross Barkley and Tielemans, and I believe this midfield is really a lightweight, but one thing they have is they really run a lot. They really run a lot, and they're brilliant on the ball. You get, we are having 2 midfielders, Kobe Mainoo and Eriksson, very brilliant on the ball, but how will they shield that back four? Because for Ross Barkley and Yuri Tielemans, for them, they'll shield their back four. I tell you this, they will shield their back four, but the big question is, will that of United, that double pivot, shield the back four? We wait and see. Then Leon Bailey, very deadly player, and he's going to be facing Diego Dallo, right? So we wait to see how Diego Dallo is really going to be obviously doing against Leon Bailey, but Marcus Rashford has to obviously run back. You get? He has to run back and really help Dallo. I don't want to see Dallo caught up in a 1v2 situation, as he has always gone ahead to be, because of Marcus Rashford's not tracking back. I don't really want to see that with my naked eyes. Then Philogen is being played as a left attacking midfielder. He's going to be facing Mazraoui, and for me, Mazraoui is a player that I can even put my hand in there for. He has shown us his qualities, and every other day that passes by, he continues to obviously show us that he's really one of those players that United went ahead to obviously get in as absolute bargains. For 15 million euros, we all know why they sold him for that amount of money, because they got him on a free from Ajax, and them selling him to the club of Manchester United was an absolute bargain, right? So that is the side of Villa, and guess who's leading the line? Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is really one of the deadliest strikers alive, and this season he has gone ahead to start slowly, but you see his impact, and amidst him, he really has a man who is really putting on pressure. That is Duran, who obviously comes off the bench most of the times and kills off these games. So we wait to see how things pan out into that game of football, but it's really gonna be a highly contested game, and we wait for the results. But I tell you, I'm not really highly positive about this game, because that midfield for me is really lacking. So I'm having Bok says, yo Bok, thank you for watching it through. Masa Chimna, I think Eric Ten Hag wants to be sacked, obviously, but they say the end justifies the means. Let's wait and see how things are really going to be panning out, and I'm just really checking in here to see what Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to say about the lineup that he has gone ahead to choose. I think he's going to be hinging a lot onto rotation, but I believe he deserved to do a lot much better into this game. A lot is really going to be coming in through in here, and we just can't wait to see how things really pan out. And looking out here, Aston Villa, a very good team, and it's a challenge. They beat Bayern Munich. They have also some good changes, and we see what they are looking for. And on the pressure, it's part of the process, and we need a strong mentality. We have to improve and move forward. That is Erik ten Hag for you. Then he added and said, every game is important, so don't make it too big. We are calm and composed. My players and I are very calm and focused purely on our own deficits and what we need to improve on. Then on rotation, he said, we have so much games to cover, so we have to bring them all in. That's what the manager has gone ahead to say ahead of this game of football. Then Unai Emery has come out and really said that we will show our best today, and of course it's a difficult match, but we are motivated. We know we have to be very demanding to stop them. It's going to be an amazing match, and we want to play the best teams. Obviously, the game is going to be amazing, no doubt about it, but who is really going to come up as the winner? The Lord God knows, but United is really looking to obviously winning its game, and this is the 7th game. Remember, Ten Hag is going to play 6 games, won 2, lost 3, and drawn 2. So that is really not something good. Onyet says, which kind of lineup is this? We wait and see what Erik ten Hag is all about, because I don't think that you drop your defenders. I don't believe that Ugarte isn't going to be getting to this team. That is my huge problem, because when you look at Manuel Ugarte, Ten Hag has come out and said that Ugarte is always not into this game. All he wants to get used to the Premier League. He has to get used to the Premier League for him to play him. Now, all right, in the Premier League, you've not played him, but in the midweek, we played in Europe, and you never gave him a minute. If he needs to get used to the Premier League, do you think he needs to get used to Europe? Because when he was at Sporting Lisbon, he played for Europe. He played in the Champions League. He played in the UEFA Europa League. When he was at PSG, he played in the Champions League. Now, do you want to tell us that that player needs to obviously get in experience, and you're not playing him in, you know? So 2 games, he hasn't gone ahead to start, and there is a very huge question mark onto the decisions that this man has gone ahead to obviously make. So for me, I believe he gets it right, but if he loses this game of football, he will be the reason as to why we've gone ahead to lose, because he knows exactly that he has players that are really good, that he's not willing to obviously go ahead and really give a go into this beautiful game of football. I'm having Swill says 3 Aston Villa, 1 Man United. Then Morris, Ten Hag is always clueless. I have supported him ever since he joined, but he makes no sense on lineup and substitutes. Silva says, why bench Martinez and delete Amad Diallo? All right. For Amad Diallo, I can understand that you'd love to obviously have something different coming in through from the bench, but for Lisandro Martinez and Matthias de Ligt, I think they have to start. They have to start, because we saw Lisandro Martinez and Varane play in Europe and then even play them in the Premier League. You get? So there is no reason as to why Ten Hag is really dropping these players. And I'm like, I'm not really understanding what the plan of the manager is. Book says he's benched Martinez because he's been very poor. I don't think he's been very poor. Not really. And they're trying to blame these players that they are poor. But do you know that these defenders are left to defend solely? For example, the 3rd goal that Lisandro Martinez is being blamed for, Casemiro trots as the center line, as our side is really being attacked. That is the most bad thing that these players do. When we are really out of possession, our shape is really very bad, because they really don't support us. You get? They don't support these other players. And yet, In a system like this, you have to defend as a team and really attack as a team. Lisandro Martinez being beaten by that player to obviously go in for that cutback to find Omorodion, you understand? There would have gone to be other players of Manchester United, because that guy that ran with the ball ran it from the center line to the box of Manchester United. And all the players in the midfield never really made an effort to run to get in the 18 yards box area of Manchester United. You get? That's the problem we are having. Not until we really rectify our problems when you are defending, especially when the numbers are supposed to be back and they're not there. I tell you, we are going to be losing games. We are going to be losing games. And we're going to be getting what we call cricket scores, because this is what the new game is all about. You defend as a team and you lose as a team. And Delite's been fairly sloppy since he's arrived. I don't really agree with you. You go and check the stats. Delite has not been sloppy. And every goal that people that are really blaming Delite for, teams like Arsenal concede them. But you know why? The other teams are really winning and United is not winning. You get? So, every defender has gone ahead, obviously, concede a goal that we think he wouldn't have gone ahead to concede. But let's not come in here and really think that Evans and Maguire are really going to do a better job today. Obviously, when you say Evans and Maguire, what comes to your head? A low block. He's going to be playing a low block and he's going to be hitting Aston Villa on the break. That's what Erik ten Hag's plan is. And I tell you, these players, apart from Evans, because I really love him, because he's really good, but Harry Maguire, let's wait and see what he offers today. But I tell you, I don't really understand why he did it. Let him play this game and he goes all right. That is silver. I see United losing 3 goals. It's not going to be like that, because I believe they're really going to have their moments. I tell you, they are really going to be having their moments, because in counter-attacking system, that's where you get the best out of Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. You get, if you are to hit teams on the break, you'll get the best out of those. And you having Rasmus Højlund leading the line, obviously that's really going to be very important. So all what we have to do is, all what we have to do is simple. You get? The result is not going to be as you people think. He might even shock them and beat them by the goals you don't even expect, because he's going to be playing a game where his best players act best. That his game plan suits suits Rashford, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Højlund. You understand? And Eriksen is really good at that pass. So if he gets that ball, really finds out a very good pass to Garnacho or Marcus Rashford, he can come up and obviously beat them. That is it. Having a book says Delite has been moved from Juventus and Bayern Munich, never gets a game for Netherlands. Now, let me school you. Tell me a defender who is moved from Juventus to Bayern Munich for 70 million euros and is really bad. Tell me, is he bad? Delite is not bad. He's not bad. He's not bad. And let no one lie to you that Delite is bad. And I've come out on several occasions and said, Matthias Delite is a very good defender. But the problem that he has going to have to face is that every manager that buys him in a club doesn't spend there a season. Or after one season, he's gone. You get? And you need that manager who bought you to obviously be there, to obviously give you game time, because he spent 70 million euros on you, that is Nagelsmann, to bring you at Bayern Munich because you are that good and he believes that he can get you the best out of you. Nagelsmann leaves, they bring in who? Thomas Tuchel. It's a different change of character altogether, because he comes in through to really believe in himself. The same thing happened to Juventus. So I know Delite is a very good defender, but managers make choices. And if a manager who bought you doesn't really get you into that team or stays there, it's going to be hard if a manager who comes in feels like it doesn't fancy you into that defense. But we also note that Tuchel reached an extent when he's really playing Dyer and Matthias Delite into his central defense, even when they're playing the Champions League semi-final. You know that story better. Why start second choice players? Only Bruno, the worst player, and Kobe. Bruno is really bad. Bruno Fernandes is really bad. And I'm like, why would a club like Manchester United really allow such nonsense? You get? But I think you give him a benefit of doubt that he knows that this is his last game for Manchester United for all he loses, and he has to field the best team ever to obviously come in through and obviously put in the required shift possible. Then, no defensive midfielder, and you're deserving a win. If Ten Hag wins this game of football, I'm really going to be surprised. You get? Because Villa is a technical game, is a technical team. And however much you see Tielemans there, Tielemans can play as a 6. Tielemans can play as a number 8. Tielemans can play as a number 10. And he's Premier League proven player. You get? Ross Barkley, the energy he's going to be bringing into that midfield is really going to be immense. I tell you, it's really going to be immense and very, 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 very huge. So, Kobe Mainoo, for starters, he's really going to be played as a CDM in this game. And I don't really trust him as a CDM because I believe that he is a better number 8 than any 8s at United. And it's out to be playing either alongside Casemiro or alongside Manuel Ugarte. Happy Chris, Erik ten Hag lost confidence and he's on panic. I feel sorry for him. What he has gonna hate to come for, sit back, hit Villa on the break. That's what he has gonna hit obviously go for. But we wish him the best, because for me on any day, if you ask me, I would love Manchester United to win. I cannot wish United a loss. You know, there are some other Erik ten Hag outers who really say, let us lose, and Erik ten Hag gets sacked. There is no way I would want us to lose a game. But I don't see how we are really going to collect 3 points from this game. Unless otherwise, the players on the bench come up and obviously change the game of football. Like you bring in Casemiro, Ugarte, Amad Diallo, Joshua Zirkzee. Maybe there will be a very huge change in there. Happy Chris, I'm having a Chimuna. Why benching Ugarte or Casemiro and starting a player who has been red carded twice in 1 week? I've gonna hate obviously talk about it, because there is no way you tell me that you're having 2 CDMs on the bench and you're playing no one. You get? Which manager does that? Tell me, which manager does that? You get? I don't see any manager who does that, because you can come in and really tell me that you have 2 CDMs on the bench and you've gone all out not to play any of those, and what if we lose? Who are you really gonna come up here and really blame? Nobody. So I think Erik ten Hag hasn't gonna hate to do justice for himself. He's really calling for his sacking. I tell you, he's really calling for his sacking, and for that I won't feel for him, by the way, because if you're having players that you know cannot come out and obviously effectively do your job, then why do you put your job on the line? That is the huge question about it. Morris says maybe a draw. All right. Okay. Even if he really forces a draw, remember, few people don't know the position of Manchester United. Let me show you this table. After seeing this table, then you'll get to know why even a draw might not even save him at Manchester United. United is 14th. You get? If they draw today, they won't move. I tell you, they'll stay in the 14th position. But when they win, they can even come into the 10th position, depending on how Brighton and Nottingham Forest play today. You get? So, not even a draw is really good. All what Ten Hag needs to obviously stay here as we go into the international break, not to have 2 weekends of pressure, is him doing the needful, win this game and collect 3 points, something that we all know it's really hard. Now, I've been here at the Sky Sports, and Gary Neville has certain things to say here for this beautiful game of football. And let me read to you what Gary Neville is really saying. But Erik ten Hag, I don't think that he has gonna obviously give himself a chance. he hasn't gone ahead, obviously give himself a chance. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I don't even feel for him because he has decided. Jamie Carragher says on what it means for Ten Hag if United lose, it leaves him still in a job, I should imagine, but it feels like you are just kicking the can down the road. All right. Obviously, Jamie Carragher, no signs of Man United improvement. He says, no, we are not. I'm surprised again that Ugarte is on the bench. He found it tough against Tottenham Hotspur, but you have to get him in. You have to get him playing. Ten Hag needs results right now. All right. I want to read something concerning Gary Neville. Gary Neville has come out and really said something here. He said, bad result could force Ten Hag axe. He said, it would be Dan Ashworth and Omar Berada supported by Jason Wilcox, who make the recommendation. Then it will be down to the Joe Glazers, Sergio Ratcliffe and Dave Braceford, who will validate it. What is for certain when you speak to the people around the club is that they don't want to make that decision. They want to try and be different and get through this difficult time. The problem is, if the result and performance is really bad today, it gets really difficult. That's when their nerves will be tested. So as I told you that, for a manager that you've just gone ahead to spend all that money on the players that he has gone ahead to obviously bring in, there is no way you come up and obviously give him a sack like that. You get? So sacking Erik Ten Hag is very, very tricky. You get? Though I believe if he loses today, 90% chance he'll be thrown under the bus. You get? But if he draws, maybe he'll keep around and see and wait for him to return after the international break. But that's what Erik Ten Hag has gone ahead to choose. He has chosen that lineup, and we are going to be returning in here to bring you what we think about this beautiful game of football. After it's done, you know how we do it. The match reaction is really going to be loading on this channel, and hope you guys are really having fun. And that's what we had for you in here onto the Rokani Media, onto the United Matters channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in you on a daily. And we out. See you later, and thank you for everyone who has been part of this live session. And let's end the poll and see what you people have voted. 50% have called for a United win. You guys are really brave. Aston Villa, 39% have called in for a Villa win, and 10% have gone ahead to obviously call in for a draw. And that is it for now. And we are going to be back when this game of football is done and dusted. And when it's done and dusted, I'll be eagerly waiting to hear from you in what we call a match reaction. Bye-bye. See you later. And it's always a 5-finger salute to everyone watching in through. And continue to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers, right? But lots of news are really making rounds all over the world on Erik Ten Hag and the replacements that United are really lining up to obviously come and really take over his job. So guys, bye bye finally, and see you